morning, everyone. I'm Drew Oakland, and today I'm going to be filming a day in the life for you. It is very early and very cold right now, so I think I'm going to stop by a cafe and get some tea and like a pastry or something, which means that if I want to get to the barn on time, I need to go kind of right now. So I'll see you when we get there. I got this really delicious breakfast tea and a really yummy cinnamon roll. But now I'm here at the barn, and the first thing I need to do is unlock the doors and then go get my first rascal, Falcon. He can get a little excited in the pasture, to be honest, which makes getting him really fun. He's actually pretty easy. He usually comes up to the gates pretty happy to come in. After I halter him up, I just bring him back inside, and then it's time to get Griffin from the same paddock. Griffin is much easier. He kind of stands in the corner while Falcon does his shenanigans and just waits patiently for me to be done with Falcon before he wants to come in as well. After I bring him in, it's time to get Bullet, who is kind of a social horse, which I was kind of surprised to find out. I put him in the more social paddock with some of our lesson ponies and boarders, and he's really thriving. Then I get Solo, who has her own little private pasture. She likes it that way, though. She is not a fan of company. Now that I've gotten my horses, I thought I'd introduce you to some of the lesson ponies while we're here. The first one is Percy. He is my intermediate jumper. Then we have Koko, who is a great beginner horse. She is so kind and so sweet, and all the kids love her. Then my lovely Shire rescue Egg. He's such a gentle giant. I love him. Then we get Amelia, who is one of my more intermediate dressage and jump horses. Then Dexter, who is a lovely quarter horse who can kind of go anywhere. I can use him in the intermediate lessons or in the beginner lessons. He's just a good versatile guy. Then I fill up their water buckets, feed them, do everything I need to do in barn chores before I go and put my hair up into something more suitable for my first ride of the day, which is Griffin. I brush him off, tack him up, all the things. I have to get on with a bale of hay right now because I don't have a mounting block. Today is a jump day for all of my horses. Griffin specifically is going to be working on some lines and coursework today. We've been doing a lot of grids with him, so I want to make sure he still remembers how to see a fence from pretty far out. After a quick warm-up, I make sure he's more comfortable at our height and realize I might be riding him a little bit slow, so I kick up the power on the next try, and I definitely found my stride that time. Then we start working on those lines I was talking about, some rollbacks with littler jumps, and then we start on some nice straight lines. Griffin's usually pretty good. I definitely could have had him a little bit more collected, and it would have stopped some of these flyers we were getting, but now that I'm reviewing the footage, it's probably a good thing for me to work on next time. Then I took him to this two-stride where I didn't really like it how we did it the first time, so when I took him through the second time, I was very happy, and I decided to end it there. After I attacked Griffin, it was Bullet's turn for his jump work. I tacked him up, and let me tell you, he is one of the easiest young horses to tack up. He has such good ground manners. I've only had him for a little while, and we've only done a couple jump rides in that time, so they've all been pretty small, so I'm keeping on that theme today, where we're just going to do some grid work and some trot pulls, which was a good call because he was having a hard time figuring out quite where to put his feet through them, but eventually he figured out it was just trot. The canter pulls were pretty easy for him. He got that pretty quick. I just turned him in pretty close and did one of the jumps first. I did that a couple times before I felt comfortable taking him through the whole grid. He jumped it like a pro. He's always been pretty good at that stuff. Then I felt comfortable to take him to the next step where we do the grid straight to those canter pulls we were working on earlier. Once he got good at that, it was time for the full course, where we did these trot pulls, which he was very good at. Straight into the canter, and before we canter the grid, where this time he was a bit wiggly, but we were able to fit all the strides in. and then from that straight to the canter pulls. I think we did this 1 or 2 times before I decided to end him off and let him be done on that. After I untacked him, I realized he was a bit more sweaty than Griffin was, so I gave him a quick rinse off. The next thing to do was get a little bit more comfortable before teaching a lesson to this girl named Raven. We were just doing dressage today where we worked on getting Amelia to soften a little bit and just be a bit more round.
Yeah, right there, that's where you have to soften your rein. Right, look at how supple she gets after that.
Although Amelia found this concept very difficult, so she decided it would be much easier to just spook and run away than do her work. Raven was able to get her back in just a couple short circles, and we both had a good laugh about it. We ended the lesson with a little bit more good work before we just talked about what we should work on next time. Then I had one more horse to ride, which was Falcon, of course. Solo's getting the day off today, so she doesn't need to worry about it. I started him on a quick little hack. He really gets a lot more relaxed and open if he's starting out in a more chill environment that isn't an arena. I'm thinking about maybe taking him cross country one day, so let me know if that's a video you'd like to see, because he's just is so relaxed outside. And I always love a good hack through the gardens. After I warmed him up a little bit at the canter inside the arena, we got to just some small jumping today. I wasn't going to do anything too crazy with him, just some cross rails and verticals. Over the cross rail, he was fine, no problems. But when I took him to this larger vertical, we had some issues. But I've learned with Falcon, it's good to just wait it out and let him sniff the jump and get really comfortable. I also took him along the sides just to introduce him to the front and the back and let him see all the angles. When I reapproached it at the trot, he was a little hesitant, but he did jump it. And we did that a couple more times until he was feeling super comfortable. Each time got a little bit more confident, and I was very proud of him. Eventually we were able to canter it, and we had 0 issues. The last thing to do was just put them together and give him a little line. He was much more confident and sure-footed on the way to that vertical, so I'm pretty happy with the way he ended. I untacked him as well. He wasn't sweaty, it was a quick ride, so I just brushed him off. Then I got changed into something a little more comfortable before my last task of the day, which was just lunging Dexter because he didn't have a ride. It was a quick lunge, he was great. But now I have to take all the horses right back out again. But I won't show you all of it because it takes forever, so I'll just show you my favorite, Falcon. I have to turn him around so he won't run off as soon as I take the halter off. Although, run off he did, of course. I love this video because I give some great commentary.
Falcon, if you break a bone, I will not be surprised.
But now I just want to show you one of my favorite turnout processes, which is Egg, who I love to get on and walk him bareback down to his paddock. I do have to use a flower pot for him, not my normal bale of hay, because he is so tall. I've been doing bareback rides on him ever since I got him, just to get him really used to me and used to anything a rider might want to do. So now it's just kind of become our nightly routine. Thank you so much for coming along with me today. It was actually really fun to film the process, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!